Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of SARIM podcast. My name is Furqan Ahmed, and I have the absolute honor of having the company of Dr. Sanghamitra Malick with us today. Dr. Malick is postdoctoral research associate at BITS Pilani from Goa campus, and she's also a member of board of International Political Science Association's Research Committee of Human Rights of RC26. With her deep expertise in political science, social justice, and discrimination issues, Dr. Malick has dedicated much of her career to understanding nuances of caste-based discrimination within higher educational institutions. So today, we will be talking about her academic journey. We will also be talking about her research on caste-based exclusion in academic institutions in India, and discuss what needs to be done to make our higher education spaces more inclusive and more acceptable. Thank you so much, Dr. Malick, for joining us. I know it's a short, it was a short notice, but we are glad you accepted our offer of invitation. So I won't be talking about much of her introduction because our theme is designed in a way that starts with her journey. And today we will be asking her about her academic journey, like from her early studies in political science to her PhD work, and now her postdoctoral research at BITS Pilani, like what kind of experiences or moments shaped her interest in social justice issues and discrimination within higher spaces. So over to you, Ms. Sanghamitra.
Let me first thank South Asia Research Institute for Minorities and my friend Furqan Ahmed for this podcast on caste-based discrimination in higher educational institutions. I am Sanghamitra Malick, currently working as a postdoctoral research associate at BITS Pilani, Goa. I belongs to from Odisha, a rural village area, and I studied from one Odia school, like a background Odia medium school, and after that I enter into graduation. I have taken political science as my honors, then enter into university level in Odisha, then coming to Central University of Pondicherry, then currently I'm working here. So this journey is not a very simple and smooth journey because I'm a first generation Dalit scholar, like coming from that rural setup in a village in Odisha, and this academic journey, and this basically political science as a subject, which ignites my awareness of social hierarchies and powers dynamics. Uh, uh, and it again evolved during my PhD journey because I was the part of student organizations where we used to learn a lot of not only politics as well as how the violence is taking place in institutions, not only our institutions but also across the globe and across India as well. With this background, let me briefly tell about my own experience, as well as how the atrocities and discriminations happening in central universities, IITs, and many technological universities. Uh, Starting from my locality, like the caste discrimination, this interest profoundly how it is experienced, the practicality even. Improved and strengthens the hierarchies of last in the last talk I explained about the Chaturvarna system, how continuously that holding, and it's helping again and strengthening this caste discrimination. And the leads, those who are currently the leads, they are out of the caste, they are called as outcast because they never wanted to stay within that caste categories, and they accepted Buddhism because when before this Hinduism or Sanatana Dharma or such things, before that there was a Brahminical system as well as the Buddhist system. So Brahminical system always, they are very discriminatory in nature, while Buddhism was very welcoming and accepting. There was no discrimination. So most of the Dalit people, those are outcasts, they wanted to remain into that system. That's why they even called outcast also. So even in the present context, how the caste practice is happening in educational institutions. Like there is fear among the students, those who are studying in the universities, to reveal their identities. Many times even you'll see in the social media they change their name or surname, or they log their profiles of social media, and because they don't want to navigate, or to get attention from this discriminatory, or to make them feel inferior, those who give such kind of comments, caste comments. So that is fear again, within the marginalized communities. In the university spaces there are a lot of an organizations, student organizations, like that, like some Dalit student organizations also there to show the solidarity, to help the people. Even to that places also, some students, some scholars, they don't feel to come with the fear of getting identified as a marginalized fellow, because they have fear to, when once they are getting identified, they may face discrimination again, through the fellow beings, or through the faculty or professors, like that. Of course, those who are casteist mindset people, they definitely will identify such things. I'll explain later. But such fears also continuously remaining in the heart and mind of these marginalized people. uh, these moments, like from the childhood days, if I say, uh, how not only the Brahmins but also other categories people, they do discrimination to the marginalized section, as I do have practical experience. And not only me, even my friend circle, then other people. Suppose if I give example, if you go to the one common tube well for the water, okay, in 2000, 2000 or 2002 or 5, that period. If now the time changed, but due to this pipeline water and all, supply of every home. But that time I'm telling, I do have one experience. Suppose other, when those are marginalized people are going to this OBC categorized, those who are staying, the fuels is there, locating there, and they are not touching the people, staying away, they will get polluted in the fear. And that creates one humiliation in the mind of marginalized uh, uh, mm, kid or people are like that. Even in the school level also, in Odisha, many places I have seen the teachers, they used to tell that, the upper caste, dominant caste people, students, to go and bring water for us. They will not take water from even the marginalized students. So all these are real uh, practical discrimination surrounded by us. So basically it's the if we take the book of Professor Sukumar Sen. He's professor from Delhi University. He has a book on this caste discrimination, how the AC students face every day instances of discriminations that erodes self dignity, often leading to isolation and self harm as suicide. Even though in India, although banned this caste discrimination, when the constitution framed, and has adopted affirmative action to strengthen and to help the marginalized community, to protect them from such kind of atrocities. uh, but such discrimination till now continuously persisting, and it's continuing actually. So in the name of, you can take the culture in another also thing. When this caste discrimination not only persisting in India, as well as in South Asia. As you are from Pakistan, you might have the experience of how the marginalized people are facing. Not only Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, and apart from South Asia, other countries also. I'll come to later on that issue. So there are the myth of caste discrimination. People, they used to say, no, caste discrimination is not there. It is it's in the present time, in the current time, it's not persisting or continuously, it's not there. But that is myth actually. But in actually it is there. So in higher educational institution, is it's very hidden way it's there. So I'll come to that later, how this uh, uh, how this uh, upper caste or Savarna, because I was explaining the Varna system. Those are out of this Varna, the outcast, they are called Avarna. So those who are in the caste cadre, they are called Savarnas. How this Savarna is patronize, like epistemological patronize, and like starting from like reducing seats in educational institution, how they are like towards this marginalized community, and creating fear in the mind of the student, and putting atrocious comments to the students, and normalizing by creating jokes, and mimic, and like make these students like fearful, and such things they are making it as like very normal. It's like they don't feel it harming, like it's humiliating students. Yeah.
So thank you so much, Sanghamitra, for giving us the insight regarding the casteist attitude persisted in academic institutions in South Asia and in India as well. So, and it's really heartening to see those experiences or those stories coming out from institutions, academic institutions, which are the, I would say, the basic or the pillar of any society. I mean, this is really heartening to learn from your end. So quickly moving to another session of this podcast. You have been a part of some of India's most reputed institutions. You have touched upon some of the initial background or initial insights of casteist attitude. How do you see the caste-based discrimination playing out in higher educational setting today? Is it like more structural, cultural, or perhaps mix of both?
I'll tell it's mix of both actually. Suppose in case of institutional discrimination, recently one case happened that that one IPS officer, like, Haryana cadre. So it like he suicide actually. That case is institutional discrimination against him. And in his suicide note also he mentioned how he was facing this caste-based discrimination, and targeted mental harassment, and that public humiliation and atrocities by the senior officers. So this is the institutional like cases. From my experience in India's most reputed institutions, this structural as well as cultural. These both are actually deeply intertwined. Structurally, it operates through the epistemological patronages, reducing. I already mentioned that reducing seats, and seats for the marginalized communities, and the biased admission mechanisms, and unequal access to the resources. Suppose there are study ASAHU, like Ambedkar Student Association, Hyderabad campus. They have done study on this biased admission of the like how caste based biased admission is happening in the campus. They have done the survey, and they found that those who are belongs to marginalized community, although they have written marks is high, but they are not getting good marks in interview. So because those who are sitting in the panel, again they can easily identify who is coming from what background. So easily they are like cutting that. So here is the biasness like working. So then in the cultural aspect, it normalizes like the fears, like atrocious comments I already mentioned, like looking down, like look down to these marginalized students. And cultural festivals like Holi, those who celebrate, if I do have experience in Pondicherry University, there is one AVP uh, student organization. They are basically used to like support this right wing ideological things, but they celebrate the Holi, and till now they believe, and they burnt one fire, and they celebrate Holika. One lady was there, like they are burning it. Actually, Holika, in for the Bahujan literature, we can find that Holika is a Bahujan lady, and it was burnt by the so-called like this upper caste mentality people. So till now in the campus, like central university campuses, they are celebrating. And you take Diwali also, another celebration. It's a Hindu celebration. So they used to celebrate like the defeat of the Ravan. Ravan is the king of also again the Bahujan like king, and the victory of Lord Rama. So they celebrate. So here in the educational institution spaces, how they are celebrating through the culture also. So, the most of these universities functions are very much Brahminical. You take Ganpati Puja and other like many puja and all. So even Professor N. Sukumar in terms where upper caste dominance perpetuates epistemological injustices, slaughters category wala and like quota students, because due to this affirmative action reservation, how the like students are coming and getting opportunity to study in higher educational institutions, and such kind of like atrocious comments and it humiliates these marginalized students. Uh, in I in Central University, like I do have many friends. They used to say how they are suffering and facing this caste marginalizations. They will not share the information with you. They'll not give any opportunity to you. And again, if you are coming across like crossing all these borders and coming through your own efforts, they will make you segregation among your fellow beings. So that is again to make you feel suffocation in that setup. So uh, so apart from that, not only Central University, if you take the one case of medical institutes like Payal Tadvi case, like that suicide case, then AIMS Bangalore recently in 2025 also one case, then IITs, then in IIT Bombay, in one student that Darshan Solan also suicide, that case. Take the example of Unnao, take the example of Hathras. Like all these are caste atrocities and caste suicidal cases, and even the famous Rohit Vemla cases. So all these like illustrate the subtle isolation and humiliation and the segregation that continuously happening in a very invisible way, but it's deeply experienced by the marginalized students. So this stubborn understanding of this merit, for them, merit means you should not think critically. Those like whatever the syllabus is there, you should read and you digest, and you like come, and they will judge you by your language, by your look, by your skin color. So that that stubborn mentality of this merit also again one layer of like blocking or critic, like doing discrimination, I can say. Yeah. So then if we take the example of like coming into the higher institution and the highest qualification as PhD, it's not easy task, because uh, those who are coming from the first generation and again from the rural setup, they suppose, and even women, they have four layers, because first as a women, say, like gender, then second is a caste, third is then a rural setup, then fourth is which area also, like which region you belong to, small town or slum or any particular like route, like remote village, like that. So coming into that and competing with suppose third generation, fourth generation students, and in the interview panel again, facing such difficulties, and again within that you have to continuously make yourself stable and continue this academia, and it is not easy task. It's full of struggle for every first generation scholars, Dalit scholars. It's very hard, and even if we take the example of recruitment in India recently, UGC is again putting that those who have done suppose PhD and any other higher education, PhD basically, from abroad, they will get more chance than those who done PhD in India. So who are going to abroad? That is also a question. Who have the connections? Who is getting this opportunity to access such places? So again, it's what is that, layering, or again it's filtering to like uh, if you are talking that that those who are coming from this abroad like completed PhD, then what you made to this Indian educational system, or uh, why these many universities are there, why it's not much effective in India. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sanghamitra, for once again providing your insights and perhaps your personal experiences on the issues of cultural and structural barriers that you and your community is facing. It is really once again uh, disheartening to know that even democratic countries and other countries have such practices, and they are finding it very. I mean, communities like you, or people from you like you, finding it very difficult to compete. I mean, you talked about the four layered discrimination and the issues, first being women, and then from a scheduled caste, and from a rural area, and then again that the quota system. It must be so tough for you to get to that position, and it's really commendable to see that you are making it to a higher education. You have done your doctoral studies, and I am the witness of your academic journey as well as your professional, and now doing postdoctoral at such a competing environment requires so much of strength and courage and consistency. So I must congratulate you for what you are doing. So from structural to cultural, we will now be focusing to the political and perhaps the constitutional protection that provides the affirmation policies and aimed at reducing inequality. Yet discrimination like these continue to persist in subtle ways. You talk about the subtleness of those discrimination. From your perspectives, where do you think our institutions are failing or falling short, or what could be done to make these frameworks more effective?
Already, like, constitutional frameworks are there and provisions are there to safeguard the marginalized community, and through the affirmative actions also, it's ensuring, like, the entry into the educational institution as well as in the job sector also. But in the implementational level, those who are, like, sitting, they are practicing the caste system rather than, like, following these constitutional values. I already mentioned in HU case, like ASHU, they have done the survey report on that. So if I start from the quote of Ambedkar, that who, like, however good a constitution may be, if those who are implementing it are not good, it will prove to be bad. However bad a constitution may be, if those who implement it are good, it will prove to be good. So here it's showing that those who are implementing, those who are sitting in the implementational level, it matters a lot. Like, if we take this, like, the willingness of the government, and the commitment towards its progress, how it's happening, or to promote the safeguard of these marginalized sections, uh, again, like, those who sitting in the big positions, and rural, like, basically ruling class elite, uh, whatever suitable for their political agenda, and like, yeah, political agenda, they will promote that more, like, because it's fulfilling their, again, like, political goals. So basically they will, like, it will easy for them to bring this religious side, and again, though, like, if they are bringing this religious side, again, through religion, this caste also coming, so the caste, the discrimination also coming. So where is, like, and not only that, in the mind of, like, psyche of this societal, like, people, or like this caste structured people, it is inherent, and it is inside their mind. So wherever, like, they go, they'll practice such things. So again, like, uh, Ambedkar was continuously talking about the social democracy. So in like India, without social democracy, only political democracy cannot bring equality and inclusivity among the citizens. Although there is, like, political democracy is there, and somehow the economic democracy also, like, India have achieved, but there is no social democracy. So without social democracy, there is very hard to bring equality, and to reduce this discrimination in society. So you take the example how this caste discrimination is there in the historical background to till now. There is no, like, if one marginalized community, those who are called Dalit, if they are crossing some village, even till now, present in modern time, some villages, they have to hold their chappal and they have to walk with the barefoot. And once that upper caste Savarnas like area is crossing, then they again, like, wear it. So this is the, like, fear within that marginalized community, and that is a practice, social practices. But there is a constitution, there is rules, but who is practicing it actually? Where is the practice in the real practice? There is lacuna in the even implementational level, and then I wrote one blog in that human rights IPSA human rights blog, that I was writing about this, how uh, manuals happening, and those who are going to report also to the officers, uh, they have to, when they are facing within their officials also, they have to talk to that officials, but that officials will belong to what categories? That is also there. It's very hard actually. So then in institutional false or in implementational accountability also. So despite the ban and reservation and there are there is subtle nuances remain to in a very unacknowledged manner, which giving a sentiment to being victimized by this caste and through this caste structure. So exactly, there is no mathematical calculation about how much you are feeling or what are the feelings, but definitely some persons will feel. So again, if we take the data, in India, 4% populations are basically from the Brahmins community, but Brahmins category, but they are occupying 40% of India's resources. So here is the state's apartheid, this is the living reality in apartheid state, we can say. So the state impose very slowly this whatever the suicide is happening, why the state is not taking action very strongly. So if we take the data as in past 10 years, the half of the millions were committed crime against these Dalits, and there is no recognition about it sometimes, because recently in Odisha, two cases I'll take. Suppose one dead cow was there. Somebody was collecting the cow skin, but those who believe in this cow was sacred and all, they are going and beating the person. But that person is collecting from the dead animal, what is completely he's not killing, and but those who are coming and beating, they are telling it's hurting their on sentiment and all. So this is kind of one atrocity. Second atrocity is, if I take the example, one lady, she crossed some area and they have some conflict, that girl from marginalized community, and then those who are coming, this dominant coming caste, they are thrashed her and filled her face with human fishes. What kind of humiliation they are doing? So these are cases in present context time, it's happening. So if such cases is happening, but those who people belongs to marginalized, there is huge gap to go to the police station or to judiciary, to access to the judiciary, because they don't have money, they don't have manpower. So it's very hard again to go and report such cases and fight against such cases. It's not easy task actually for the common people, those who are staying in the rural setup basically. So what even popular cases, we can take the Hathras case, then Unnao case. In so all these are caste atrocities are happening. So institutions should make radical reforms uh, to support this marginalized community, and it should be very inclusive, and should address the upper thread of this administration, and it should there are many times demand from this marginalized community that the Rohit Act in the institutional level, because Rohit Bangla case is very popular cases among this universities. Dalit, he was a Dalit student, and so due to past atrocities he suicided himself, and there he also left one note, whatever the discrimination he was facing. So government should take action in that way, and implement create some special community for this marginalized people, and bring such law in a very strong way, so that it will be very helpful for this community. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Malick, for once again providing us the deeply rooted issues that are entrenched in the society, which are faced through caste-based discrimination. You talked about the constitutional availability. I mean, it's there, but you talk about that there is a lacuna of implementing those constitutional norms or the policies, right? So quickly moving on to another session, you have talked about your own experience, your cultural, structural barriers, and you have talked about the constitutional provisions and its lacuna, right? Now quickly move to your international career. You have presented your work internationally, and I happen to have the pleasure of seeing you in Seoul when we were in Seoul. So I was really excited to meet you. So you presented your work internationally in Warsaw and in Seoul, and interacted with the scholars across regions. Based on that experience, how does caste-based exclusion in India's academia compare with the other forms of marginalization in universities across South Asia or even globally? Although you've touched upon slightly the condition in South Asia, but I want your insight in a global perspective as well. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I had opportunity, and it was not easy. I went to these two international conferences. One conferences, like I would thank also to that NFSC, one fellowship, that is National Fellowship for Scheduled Caste. So that is from the UGC, like Indian government higher education they are providing. Due to that money also, I had opportunity to like went to one conference also. And yeah, looking into like Indian academia in my experience, that uh, and specializing in international relation, that considered as like very highly reputed elite subject, because those who come from like that rural setup, it's not, they, since they had not any opportunity to come to that setup, or they don't have any previous or prior connection to get into such kind of things, it's not easy actually. So it's not about me only, it's about those who are marginalized even across India. So if you take the example like networking, so they have their networking, they have that social groups, and sometimes what they do, they will make you feel like an alienation, like you're not part of that big group or network. Like, although you are coming with your own struggle and efforts, sometimes they don't recognize you in the university. Suppose if other students are doing, they will put a like they promote them in the university level. But if you come, if any marginalized fellows, they cross that label, and they do with their own effort, even that is not recognized by the academia people. And example, again, one more example I'll give. Suppose regarding this travel grant take or any other opportunity, so you will not get that opportunity because you don't have any connection with these high profile people or the organizational institutions. So this is kind of that they have that contact, they have that networking. So it's not easy to stay into that category, and they'll make feel like okay, somebody like stay away or keep away them. So this is kind of like the caste-based mentality, I can say. And sometimes in within educational institutions, how I already told, like they mimic the students. So already in South Asia, how caste continuously persist. Even Dr. B.R. Ambedkar once quoted that, I'll quote him, that he told that if Hindu migrate to other region of the earth, uh, in case of like an Indian caste, would be a world problem. So when people migrated from India, they always carry the baggage of the caste with them. Okay, so this is not only an Indian phenomenon, as well as a South Asian, and it's even the cross border. Even apart from South Asia, wherever they go, they carry such things. Even two cases we can take. One is Silicon Valley cases, Cisco, one tech company. So there, how one Dalit engineer was facing discrimination by the senior fellow in that company. And in case of, if you take the like US, sorry, UK, there is actually in UK one one fellow was facing the discrimination, and that fellow, with the help of others, they are trying to bring this pass one legislation against such discrimination, and to bring some like legislation for their support. But they are again, those who are belongs to other like dominant category, they are not only within the Hindu dominant category, as well as this Islam dominant category, even the Christian dominant category. They are getting together, and they are like opposing such bills, like not standing with the so solidarity with this Dalit fellow. So this is the case of two example I'm giving. But there are a lot of instances. There is Dr. Suraj Yangde. He is a scholar, so he has worked a lot in this matter, how the caste across the board, like starting from California to like many countries actually. So so basically, like how even I gave one example. I mean, I was discussing with one friend. He was telling that in abroad they cannot identify what caste or what that person belongs to. What they will do, they will touch the backside because they used to use the sacred thread to identify. Does he that person have that sacred thread or not? Neither. Sometimes they will take to okay swimming pool. Okay, while swimming pool they have to that remove the cloth and all to like take the bath or something swim. So they can identify, okay, that person don't have the sacred thread. That means they are not belongs to this category or that category to identify again. So there are a lot of discriminations are there, and yeah, it's not only the Indian phenomenon now; it's become global phenomenon. What Ambedkar predicted, it's now currently it's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much once again for providing your insights over the phenomenon that is spreading all over the world in terms of that casteist mindset or the approach towards your community. And so we are, as we're closing out to our session today, so I would be requesting you to provide some practical steps or cultural shifts do you think are needed to make higher education a more inclusive and equitable space? And where do you see the caste identity doesn't define opportunity or belonging?
Yeah. Practical steps, actually, there are a lot of scholars like N. Sukumar Sen also in his books. He's giving like kind of policy framework how state and government can act, as well as in practicality we can suggest that like mentorship programs for the first generation, marginalized scholars or students, those who basically from the again remote and that rural setup, and giving them opportunity. And then second step can be within the university or institutional level, because we are discussing about the higher educational institutions. So within that setup there should be a committee which can represent the problem of the students, and they can look into that problem and stand with the suffering fellows. And in the like cultural shifts, like uh, anti-caste sensitized program, because already for the gender there is gender sensitized program. Sometimes it happens in the university level, and so for such kind of program like anti-caste or anti-caste sensitized program, if it is happening, it might sensitize those who have not much sensitive towards such discriminatory, where sometimes they comment, they don't feel what the opposite person is feeling. So such kind of workshop or programs can help again to understand those who don't have much understanding regarding this issues. So and as well as there should be in the university level that those who are suffering such things, of course some university they have that psychological uh, um, some setup is there. They can go and look talk to the psychiatrist, but even in the long term it's not much effective, we can say, because that same person is going and suffering through that discrimination again and again. How that person will come out? Because again the same setup they have to sustain. So only like a committee and the government should actually implement this Rohit Act. So in the Rohit Act, they are demanding how the protection towards this marginalized community, and from the student side also, those who are students sometimes. So in the practical step, two three things, yeah, I have already mentioned. Yeah, like that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank
Because
you.
policy, I'm sorry, government should make the policy which again force it should focus on more equitable educational environment to accommodate all, and to create an inclusive environment where the students, those who are coming from the marginal section, they should not feel like an alienation or segregation, and it should not give them feel the humiliation. So even not only the student, even the faculty, the universities, so everybody should think in that way. Then only somehow, not only in educational institution, those who are studying in the educational institution, they will go to society, like they will again they're part of the society, but due to that sensitize might be, it will reduce the atrocities or the that discrimination, it might reduce. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sanghamitra, for your insights. You have been phenomenal throughout this podcast, and it's clear that addressing caste-based discrimination in higher education requires not only systematic change, but it also needs a shift in mindset and culture and from structural reforms to creating caste spaces, through spaces of belonging for all. And there is much to be done in this regard. And your work is truly an inspiration, as I said it earlier, for all of us working towards equality, inclusivity, and acceptance. And thank you so much for taking the time to share your knowledge with us today, to share your personal experiences as well. To our listeners, if you want to learn more about Dr. Malick's work or follow her journey, be sure to check out the links that will be shared in our social media networks. And don't forget to follow SARIM on social media for more discussion or input on important issues affecting minorities and marginalized groups. And this is me, Furqan, signing off from SARIM. Until next time, let's keep pushing for a more just and inclusive world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Furkan, for this space, and thanks to Sarim